is Russ. Yeah, I'm headed out of Costco. Yeah, this is a continuation of that video you probably saw the day before, where I talked about the forensic audio and things like that. Yeah, wet, rainy day. But it's not raining, actually. It's actually snowy. But the snow's not sticking right now, so it kind of makes it kind of feel like it's misty. All right, let's get into the lane here first. So, what was I going to tell you guys originally before we got into the whole thing about the forensic audio stuff? I was thinking about retirement and how that's played an effect on me since I stopped working. Got to get some Pepsi here. I know whenever I get out of Costco, you eat a pizza, you get all the stuff stuck in your throat and everything. Anyway, I was thinking about this whole thing, about the retirement thing, because I had mentioned on another video that I couldn't remember the dates and times or anything like that because I had nowhere really to go. So I was thinking more about that, and I just said, well, what other things has retirement done to me? I've been retired for a couple years now, actually. Ever since the pandemic happened, I knew that I couldn't go back to teaching photography because these were group classes. I said, no one's coming in for a group photography class anymore. That's the end of that. So, and then I got my knee replacement done, and of course all the problems I had with the knee. I just never went back to work. That was it. So it was actually since 2019. Here it is already 2015 already. So think about that. And I'm only going to I'll be 66 in a couple of days, actually, not too much further away. And so I got thinking about that. I go, yeah, what has retirement really done to me? Well, I would say this. As you might probably have guessed, I'm a pretty social person in the sense that I don't mind talking to other people. If you have a YouTube channel, you're talking to everybody. But I'm the type that would be pretty much the first person to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, how you doing?" and start up a conversation. I don't get that anymore. Yeah, I'm literally by myself all day long. I mentioned this at our Thursday night Bible study group. I says, yeah, I'm fairly lonely for the majority of the day. The only person I actually see is Mrs. Wright, and she comes back home really late, and then a couple hours later she's back off the bed, get ready for the next day. So really, I don't have a whole lot of people to talk to other than you guys on this YouTube channel. So I says, okay, well that obviously is one thing. Loneliness, I guess, is a factor in retirement. If you're the only one retired, when Mrs. Wright finally retires, obviously we'll have the two of us together to do things or whatever. I'll probably get on her nerves. But the whole point is that I'm literally by myself the whole day. And the only time I actually get to meet up with people other than Mrs. Wright would be on Sundays at church. It's true. So I said, well, that is one thing. Another thing I thought about with the retirement is I've turned into a penny pinching person, as you probably could tell. Coming back out of Costco, buying Costco chicken. Somebody asked me, why do you always just eat chicken? Yes, because it's the cheapest thing I can get. It's the cheapest thing I can get. And calorie-wise, it's a lot less than a lot of other things I could eat. So on a dietary basis, the chicken actually is probably the best thing I could eat if you're going to eat some type of meat. Yeah. And most of my diet, of course, is a meat eater's diet. I did start out with the salads, which I got to kind of add every now and then. But I basically eat mostly chicken. And the cost of chicken is cheaper than any other type of meat, if you think about it. So yeah, I've turned into a penny pinching miser. But you have to look at every dollar that goes out the door because you're not getting dollars coming in. The only income I would get is whatever happens on YouTube, or because of YouTube. If I sell an e-bike or something like that, or if if YouTube pays me or if Amazon pays me. You know, as a YouTuber, we get income from Amazon as well if you're set up for that. If you recommend products, and of course I have a web page. It's russisright.blogspot.com, which you could just go to russisright.com and you can see it. That's where I list bikes that are for sale, and that's where I put the accessories and things that I recommend people look at. And literally for all these years of talking about e-bikes, every month people use that affiliate links that I put in there of the products that I've tried and recommend to buy mirrors and bike pumps and inner tubes and you name it. Those type of things generate income too. It's not a whole lot. Amazon doesn't pay you a lot. I mean, you're talking things that sometimes you're lucky if they pay you 70 cents for that or $1 something for this or whatever it is, but it adds up. Yeah. So because the income is obviously a lot less than if you were working a regular job, you have to kind of look out for everything that you spend. I find that, even when I go shopping, even like I mentioned here at Costco, I'll just go into Costco, I'll get what I need to get, and I get out of there. Yeah, I don't dilly-dally and look around. Who says dilly-dally nowadays? I don't look around. I don't go up and down the aisles and look around because I know that if I see something that I like, I'm going to go, oh, yeah, that'd be kind of nice to have. And then next thing you know, you're buying it. Yeah, I can't afford to just go out and buy stuff like that anymore. So, and I find that I really don't need anything anymore. There's very little things that I need. So unless it's desperately needed, I don't buy it. The things that I spend the most money on really is my equipment that I use for YouTube. And even when I was a professional photographer, I spent a lot of money on my pro photography gear. We buy camera upon cameras upon cameras. But now with the YouTube thing, the only thing I really bought is I bought a Canon G7X Mark II, which is a point and shoot camera. That got me started. Then I bought a GoPro Hero 10, and now I have this DJI camera. Now, these cameras aren't that expensive overall. You're talking in the ranges of anywhere from $300 to $500 for those cameras and each, right? And then, of course, some audio equipment as well. I had the digital audio recorder already. I had a pro microphone before already. The only thing I needed to get, and I had to buy a lavalier microphone for those things. And then now I have this transmitter style microphone, which sends a Bluetooth signal to the DJI camera that I'm using to record this video with right now. So you do have to upgrade over time as better technologies come out, make your videos a little bit better. When you start out in YouTube, you don't need to go this fancy. I mean, you can go with even just a cell phone would be perfectly fine. But considering the things I do on YouTube now, riding on the bike and everything, and trying to get those action type shots, and then of course now here with the More From Russ channel, I'm just sitting in the car and talking to you guys. You have to invest in some better gear to do certain things. And of course, all the green screens and all that stuff, I had all that stuff from my photography days. So still, I've spent a certain amount of money. And of course, computers. I spent a lot of money on computers to be able to process the footage and everything. And I don't know why they still call it footage, because it's really not footage. It's all digital now. To process the files. Yeah, you'll find that I don't even say I got to film this. We don't use film anymore, right? So for me, the proper thing to say would be, I'm going to record this. Yeah, that I think is actually a better way of saying it. So anyway, I find that I have to be a little bit more conscious of how I spend my money as we're into the retirement things. Now, Mrs. Wright, of course, is still working. So, of course, there's income still coming in from her. And, she takes care of our insurance thing because through her work and everything. But eventually she'll retire too, one of these years. And then when that happens, then it's just us. So looking into what will keep us going, it will have to be the YouTube channel, because that's really the only thing I really do is the YouTube thing. So yeah, I appreciate you guys starting up with this More From Russ channel for me. I really hesitated in doing it because I knew it's going to take a long time to build it. But I also recognize, after a while of putting these videos up on the Russ's Right channel, that nobody on the Russ is Right channel, other than a handful of people, really want to see this type of content. So the Russ is Right channel will probably always be an e-bike channel until e-bikes get to the point where nobody wants to watch those videos anymore, in which case then I can transition it if I had to. But I knew that starting the More from Russ channel was kind of a necessity as well. And it cleans up the Russ is Right channel so that it can just stay as a e-bike channel, which is what most people want it to be. But it also opens me up to be able to do other things. You know, I find that as I've been searching through YouTube as to what other YouTubers are doing, a lot of us tend to start second channels because I really feel it's because they feel trapped into the first channel. You know, they ran into something that was doing well with them, and then they kept doing that. And then the next thing you know is that's all they can do because that's all that's accepted, right? It's not like these people, you know, only do that one thing. They do other stuff, you know, in their lives too. And as a creative type person, they, as well as I, want to record other things and tell you more, especially if you're doing like this type of channel is considered more of a vlog channel, where I'm just kind of tell you what my everyday life is like and what's going on and what I'm doing. They find the same thing, that they really can't do that on their established channels, so they start secondary channels. Secondary channels never do as well, except for one guy, that would be Outdoor Boys. Outdoor Boys started out with catfish and carp. He had like 600,000 something subscribers, I think, and he gave it up to continue to do the Outdoor Boys channel, which is kind of similar. I mean, catfish and carp was strictly fishing, but he wanted to do more than just fishing. He was taking his kids out and they were going camping and all that, and he found that people were interested in that too, so he abandoned the catfish and carp channel. I mean, it's still up there. I mean, I'm sure he gets revenue from it because people still watch it, but he doesn't put any new videos in there. And then he transitioned to Outdoor Boys, which is really an offshoot, if you think of it, of the same thing. And now I don't know how many millions of subscribers he has. Is he around 12 million now? Something like that. Every video this guy puts out has millions of views. I mean, multi-millions of views. You know, some of us are really struggling trying to get a few hundred views. And so really he hit the right formula, and he's doing the things that he enjoys doing. So yeah, I think what happens is anyone who's creative in doing things, eventually will feel like they're locked into one thing and they want to do more. So I knew that the More from Russ channel had to get started, even though it's going to be a slow start, because that'll give me the opportunity to switch into other things if I want to. And like I said, that this channel will never be known for only one thing, although a lot of things that you see as I'm sitting in the car talking to you, it's just easier for me right now because it's winter. Okay, when the winter goes away, we can go outside and do other things, and I can take you outside with me, but not in snowy weather like it is right now. That's not going to happen. So we're going to be stuck in the car for a while. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, you know, retirement, although you're not working, after a while you kind of feel like I got to do something. I mean, it'll be boring for you if you don't, right? I have a friend who told me too. He says he doesn't really want to retire because he's wondering, you know, what is he going to do when he retires? I mean, that's a legitimate concern. I mean, he's always active and doing other things, so really he's going to feel like, you know, everything just stopped for him. So yeah, you've got to find some type of outlet. If you're a retired person, and I know many of you guys probably are who watch my channels, let me know what your feeling is about being retired. I mean, if you enjoy it, great. If you don't, tell me about that too. Tell me what you do on a daily basis. Tell me, you know, is the money thing a concern? I mean, if you have a certain amount of savings, it's probably not as much of a concern, but still, even if you have a lot of money saved up, I think there's a point where you kind of feel like, yeah, I gotta keep an eye on how much I spend for this and that. Let me know if that's an issue for you and a concern. But you know, even like I said, even if you have a lot of money, it should be a concern because you know, if you're not generating additional income, everything is little by little being spent up, right? So how do you control your finances that way? I control it by, you know, what I eat, what I buy, and what I don't buy. You know, I find that if I don't look at a lot of things, you know, like ads and the like, the temptation's not there to buy something. If I don't know about it, I can't buy it. I only buy things I need to, and I do keep up with certain things like the technology of my cameras and the computers and things like that, because I know it's part of my quote unquote business on YouTube at this point. So anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Let me know what your thoughts are on all this stuff. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next time.